All right, let's unpack this. Today's deep dive comes from a really fascinating stack of sources. It gives us this incredible window into the whole ecosystem of media today, from, the biggest box stores on the planet to the most niche corners of indie film.
What's so interesting is how we have to track these three totally different timelines that are all happening at once.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the big retailers just trying to dump everything as fast as possible. That's one. You have independent creators who are, trying to build buzz for something months away. And then there's the collector's timeline, where value isn't about price. It's about rarity. How hard was it to find?
It's a perfect contrast. We've got these notes from inside the post-Christmas retail ghost town. And right next to that, details on a horror convention where a filmmaker is just trying to get noticed. Plus, we get into 4 pretty different movies, including a big 4K release. So yeah, what does it all mean? Let's start with the retail apocalypse. So we're zeroing in on that time frame right after Christmas, leading into New Year's.
December 30th, January 1st.
Right, which is historically just a dead zone for new physical media.
It is. The only thing really coming out are, like, catalog titles. The notes mention breakdown on 4K, which is a key one.
But the shelves are basically bare of anything new.
And that vacuum is deliberate. It gives the big stores, your Target, your Walmart,
Yeah.
it gives them the room to do that really aggressive calendar shift.
It's instantaneous.
Oh, completely. The sources say it's barely past Christmas, and the main aisles are already full on Valentine's Day.
Which is kind of wild.
It is. The system is built to just liquidate the past to make way for the future. You're basically commodifying romance before the Christmas tree is even down.
And what gets left behind is, I love this phrase from the source, the last scrapings of things.
Yes.
And these things are marked down so fast, so severely, 75, 80-something% off.
It's not even a discount, really. It's a signal of failure, a failure of forecasting.
Right. The value of these things just plummets to basically zero because they need the physical shelf space back.
The clearance aisle becomes this fascinating dig site. It's consumer archaeology.
Totally. What's on the list?
It's just a random pile of things that didn't connect. Dunkin' Donuts checkcloths.
I don't even know what that is.
Barrels of just stuff. Chia Pets, of course.
Always Chia Pets.
And surprisingly, these huge Bluey plush toys at 75% off.
And then, storage tubs, which is the sad, practical end to all the holiday access.
And that collapse in value isn't just for novelty junk. It hits the movie and figure sections, too. Older titles that have just been sitting there.
Like what?
Things like The Eradicator and Night Sim, those are suddenly half price. The Thunderbolt figure was also seen at 50% off.
It shows you how brutal the mass market is. If it doesn't sell fast, its value is just gone.
And that mass market failure is the perfect pivot to the next part of our source material, the hyper-specific niche toy hunt.
Right. We go from a $4 Bluey plush to this obsessive quest for a collector's item.
It's not about saving money. It's about the hunt itself.
Yeah, the search for the one exclusive thing. The white whale of this trip was that Simpsons figure.
Homer in the Moo Moo.
Homer in the Moo Moo, yeah. It's supposed to be a Walmart exclusive, but finding one is just incredibly hard.
Even while, as the notes point out, all the other large Simpsons figures are everywhere and on sale for like $7.
$6.99, yeah.
And there's an irony, right? The mass-produced, easily available figure is worthless to the collector.
Totally worthless.
The real value is all in that Moo Moo Homer, the very thing the retailer meant to use as a draw, but couldn't even distribute right. It's all about scarcity.
The hunt is also for future scarcity. You're not just looking for what's there, but what should be there.
Checking for things that haven't even hit shelves yet.
Exactly. Like the classic Ben Cooper masks. The Kiss versions were out, but the turtle ones everyone wants. Not yet released.
And that new Turtles figure from the recent short. The AI character.
Also being sought, also hasn't materialized. You have to know what's coming, not just what's in the bin.
And that's what separates a casual buyer from a real collector. That level of detail. Even the weird stuff gets cataloged. Star Wars doorbells.
Right, the mini world's smallest turtle figures.
And all those funny new snack items, the icy Slurpee things, Hostess, Jolly Ranchers, all these weird attempts to grab your attention when the market is flat.
And even the store layout itself can be part of the chaos.
Oh, yeah.
Our source noted one Walmart had this really weird aisle design. The toy section was next to the Barbies.
Instead of with the cars and action figure.
Right. It's a small detail, but if you're on a mission, a systematic search, that kind of quirk can throw your whole game off.
So that's the chaos of abundance. It creates worthless junk And by accident, these really desirable, rare items, now we shift to the deliberate creation of value.
Which is where it gets really interesting, I think. This connects that consumer world of, discounted junk
Mhm.
directly to the creator's world. If you're not making something for the clearance bin, how do you find your people?
You hustle.
You hustle. And that brings us to the convention.
This is that essential other side of the coin for an independent creator. You have to go directly to your audience. So the event is the Days of the Dead Horror Convention.
In Vegas, January 16th, 17th, and 18th.
And the venue is just perfect. The Plaza Hotel.
Which was the basis for Biff's Casino in Back to the Future 2.
Exactly. It gives the whole thing this instant layer of pop culture history. It's fun.
And the mission there is pure promotion.
Pure direct promotion. They're pushing the film Desert Fiends, which is already out. But more importantly, they're building awareness for their next film, Lost Media.
Which is about to start its crowdfunding campaign.
Right. If you can't get your Blu-ray into Target next to the half-price Thunderbolt figure, you have to stand at a table and ask people face-to-face to help you make the next one.
And that's the key link back to our first section. This whole convention hustle exists because the mass market can't sustain these niche projects.
The personal connection at a con replaces the broken retail model.
It has to.
And for our source provider, this is a big personal milestone. This is the first panel they'll be on for Desert Fiends, Saturday at noon.
That's a huge step. And it really illustrates the whole spectrum, doesn't it? From hunting through clearance bins to sitting on a panel talking about your own creation. Okay, so moving from the hustle to the actual viewing experience, let's get into the reviews of the 3 recent theatrical movies from the source material. A real mix here.
Let's start with the Neil Diamond impersonator movie, Song Sing Blues, or sometimes Sing Song Blues.
Starring Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson. And the verdict was...
Okay. Just okay. Lukewarm.
And the interesting thing was that it kept making the viewer think of another movie.
Saving Silverman.
Because Neil Diamond was actually in that one. That's a huge challenge for filmmakers, isn't it?
It is. Your audience has this massive internal library of everything they've ever seen, and they're constantly cross-referencing. It can totally dilute what you're trying to do.
Okay, next up was the Anaconda reimagining.
Right. The one where Jack Black and Paul Rudd's characters are fans of the original movie and try to remake it themselves.
And that one was rated, all right, but not loved.
It's that classic trap with reboots and remakes. You're trying to honor the original, but also do something new, and sometimes you just get stuck in the middle.
And finally, the one that got high praise, Josh Safdie's film, Marty Supreme.
Yes. Highly praised for that chaotic, high-energy style he's known for.
Even though he's split from his brother, the source says he's really maintained that distinct, frantic energy.
The synth music, in particular, was called out as being really effective.
I found the note on the music fascinating, using modern or 80s music in a 1940s historical setting.
Yeah, they compared it to the Great Gatsby adaptations, an intentional anachronism.
And it works.
Apparently works really well. It elevated the film, even if some parts dragged a little.
I wonder if that's because the Safdie style is so chaotic anyway that the jarring music actually fits the mood. It reinforces that sense of controlled chaos.
I think that's the whole appeal. You're supposed to feel a little off balance, and the cameos in this film were just so specific.
Right, not big A-listers.
No. You've got Mr. Wonderful, the actor. You've got the guy famous for the macaroni and cheese voice.
And Marianne from Brooklyn, from The Howard Stern Show.
Who's the very first person you see getting the shoes in the movie. These are micro-celebrities that just deepen that gritty, hyper-realist world.
All right, let's get into our final segment, the deep cuts. This is where we break down the new physical media releases that were reviewed.
And we start with a really strong one, a big recommendation for the 4K Ultra HD of Bionia.
From Yorgos Lanthimos.
From Yorgos Lanthimos, director of Kinds of Kindness, Poor Things. You know his style. Deeply unsettling, absurd.
A detached, almost alien view of human behavior.
And the plot of Bionia is pure Lanthimos. It takes a familiar idea, alien paranoia, and just twists it.
Jesse Plemons' character thinks Emma Stone's character, a network executive, is an alien.
Right, he becomes obsessed. He and his cousin kidnap her and hold her in their basement.
Just to interrogate her about why she's on Earth while she's just denying everything.
It's a psychological thriller, but it's really about obsession, control, paranoia. And the 4K extras are supposedly great. Making of, cast interviews, the whole package.
Okay, moving on. A very different vibe with Homewrecker on Blu-ray.
A very different vibe and a terrifyingly current one. The concept is all about deepfakes.
So what's the story?
It's domestic manipulation. A daughter hates her mom's new boyfriend, and she wants the house. So she and her own boyfriend create a deepfake video to frame the stepdad for cheating.
Wow.
And the whole plan goes wrong and becomes, as the notes say, problematic.
It's framing deepfake tech not as sci-fi, but as a real-world weapon for gaslighting. Something anyone with a grudge could use.
And for our last one, we land in the fun cult horror comedy space with Popeye the Slayer Man.
A title that just sells itself.
It really does. It's noted as a fun movie when you see popping up on Tubi a lot.
Which shows you how important those free streaming services are for discovering this stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And as part of a series, there's at least one other Slayer Man movie. A little micro-franchise.
This premise is just perfect.
It's wonderful. The killer Popeye is hunting kids in an abandoned spinach factory.
Of course.
The review highlights the fun kills and says Popeye himself looks very creepy. So, mission accomplished for a schlocky horror movie.
And this one brings us full circle back to that indie film community we talked about.
It does. The producer, Kyle Carvine, and the writer, John Doolin, are people this source provider had worked with before on a film called Sasquatch.
It's a small, interconnected world.
And like any good collector's release, the disc is packed with extras. Trailer, commentary, featurette, a music video, everything the dedicated fan wants. So we've really covered the whole spectrum today, from the total collapse of retail after the holidays to the intense focus needed to make and market a film like Bionia or even Popeye the Slayer Man. This whole deep dive just shows that constant tension between mass market failure and the very sustainable, devoted culture of niche collecting.
You really see that tension so clearly, don't you? On one side, you have this mega store machine that treats a 2-month-old movie like it's ancient history and is already pushing Valentine's candy. And on the other side, you have the personal, boots-on-the-ground hustle required to promote films like Lost Media at a horror con. What stands out to me is that the collector's obsession with one specific Homer figure and the filmmaker's passion project. Both of them exist completely outside that failing system of mainstream retail.
And, this raises a question for me. Given the plot of Homewrecker, a film that's all about using deepfake tech to manipulate relationships for, tangible gain like a house.
Yeah.
How much does the rise of this accessible synthetic media start to blur the line between a far-fetched horror plot and just real-world domestic conflict? How long until the most terrifying stories are just ripped from tomorrow's headlines? That's something for you to think about next time you're browsing the shelves.